Okay.
Ready?
All right, Alexis, work your magic. And so this is either the 5th or the 6th membership meet with Evelyn. And this one is really, you gonna start, darling?
What?
Oh, start the slides.
Oh. Oh. I accidentally muted you, Evelyn. Unmute yourself. Hang on, I'm gonna mute everyone, then unmute yourself.
I unmuted myself. You can't unmute me. That's
Good.
easier said than done.
There it is.
So this is the latest installment of the membership meets with Evelyn, and I thank all of you for being here today. Next slide is kind of just the title slide for this presentation, which is marketing and membership retention. Oftentimes when we ask people what do they want to know more about, it's always marketing, marketing, marketing. And so today we're going to focus on some of the marketing strategies. But before that, really talk about what you need to do to increase the success or the likelihood that those marketing strategies will be successful. On the other hand, what I say to you all over and over is try it. Try it, try it. If it doesn't work, fine. You move on and try something else. Next slide. What we're going to talk about is the relationship between marketing and, oh no, this is just what we're going to talk about today. So we'll cut welcome and intros, the relationship between marketing and membership recruitment and retention, go into some of the marketing strategies, and then questions, conclusions, comments. If we have time, there is a new pilot program that's being introduced beginning May 1, which we may at least touch on or introduce. So next slide, please. I already said my welcomes here. You've got me, Evelyn Langenstein, the membership coordinator on the R&T. And then this membership meet, other than just being my technological guru, Alexis DePersia-Norelli is going to talk about marketing strategies and how that relates to membership and membership recruitment and retention. We also have on the Zoom, which I can't see, Deb Saki, who it says SOS membership, but she is also the communications coordinator on the regional management team. We have members on Zoom from probably, if I look at it, I would say 2/3 of the courses. So that's pretty, that's wonderful to be able to share our ideas, collaborate, and increase. What you're going to hear in the future is one of the R&T's goals, objectives for this next year is to increase the unity. And I think our membership meets have gone a long way to, I think, doing that. Let's see, next slide. Oh, I lost, go ahead, next slide. I'm trying to do it. So membership recruitment, retention, and marketing. As I said, everybody, when you ask what course individuals, what membership wants to learn about, wants to hear about, is marketing their course. And as I will say with anything else that we talk about, there are no quick fixes. There's no do this and you're going to be ensured that you're going to be successful. Your membership recruitment, retention, and the relationship with marketing is not often seen as being critical, but I will tell you that your chorus culture and why that's important relates to the membership recruitment and retention, but also to how you design your marketing strategies. So knowing where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there, knowing the image that you project, not only to chorus members, to new members, as well as the community, go hand in hand. So why your chorus culture and defining who you are is important is it really does define how the members want to interact with each other. And that enhances the likelihood of member retention. How your values define how members want to.
What a tough life you have. I know.
Who's not muted? No, not next slide. Nope, the other way. Alexis, back to.
Give me a second. I was trying to figure out who
Okay.
came off mute and it
I'll
just did a weird thing. I'll get it.
Keep talking. Over the last 5 or 6 membership meets, we've talked a lot about why chorus culture, how you see yourselves, how you portray yourselves to others is important. And it's just as important as far as marketing is concerned. As I said, your shared values, how your members want to interact with each other, how they treat each other will enhance membership retention. How members interact with potential members will affect your recruitment. But the other end of it that we don't often talk about is how your members interact with the community. And that is what marketing really is all about. It's how the community views your members, views your chorus. And the common values. I got this sentence from Sweet Adelines International. Common values translate into expectations that prescribe behaviors towards members. It's really how you feel, what your values are, determine what your expectations are as a new member, as a member within the chorus, and really enhance membership retention and recruitment. And I think we never really use the words, or we don't often use the words when we talk about our choruses, the brands, brand recognition. We need to start thinking, I think, as our choruses, as the brand. What are we? Who are we? What picture? What image? What are we trying to portray to members, current members, new members, as well as the outside, as well as advertisers, potential donors, community groups, so on. And I will tell you, and we'll go back to this, the chorus culture really, as I said earlier, may help determine which of these marketing tools that Alexis is going to talk about you use and how successful they are. And in addition to what Alexis is going to talk about today, the Ignite the Sounds and Mission Retention Initiatives, which are on SAI website, are outlined there. And I often feel, there's so much information on the website It's not always the easiest to find or the most intuitive. So at some point, I may do something where I go through the website and click here, click there, click. But it really is, spend a little time playing around trying to find it, because a lot of this information really is there. I feel pretty strongly that identifying your course culture, your values, who you are, is not a step that you can forego. Prior to advertising, marketing your course, you have to know, what are you marketing? Next slide, Alexis. And one thing you'll hear both Alexis and I talk about is the sense of belonging. And again, why people stay, why they come, has to do with the sense of belonging. But the course's sense of identity, we used to, why they stay, why they come, who is they? I think we have to think broader. The they might be why they stay is our members, why they come is new members, but I really think it's more than just that. It's the members, it's community, it's the donors. They all need to connect with the course culture. Why do some courses year after year after year, have repeat performances or fundraising opportunities? What they are expecting, whether it be the members, the new members, the old members, or the community, is what they are expecting, and their perceptions need to mesh with reality. Next slide. Your course culture and the image that you present to others have to agree with each other. And I think Alexis is going to really reinforce this. And this is also reinforced on the Ignite the Sound and mission retention initiatives. If the picture you are painting and your course culture do not jive, there's going to be a disconnect. And so when we ask the question of why people don't stay, or why isn't this marketing initiative as successful as it could be, it might be that your course image does not match your culture. The culture, the image that you are presenting in your social media, in your advertising, in your letters to donors. So one of the questions is, does your course want to revamp your image? What is your image? Does it match with who you are? And this last paragraph here to me is a key. So much of retention is about belonging. If someone sees something, some marketing initiative, and thinks, you know what, I could belong there, or I want to belong there, and then they show up and that's not what they get, they're not going to stay. The opposite is true as well. If you're awesome, but your presence is not. So if people are coming, if your marketing initiatives are wonderful, well, no, that's the first one. If you're awesome, a lot of sweet Adelines, I've heard this said time and time again, we're the best kept secret. Well, we need to stop being the best kept secret. If we're awesome, but our presence in social media, in out there in the world, they may never show up in the first place. I loved this quote here. I took it from the Song of Atlantis chorus's Facebook page. And obviously they recognize that branding is really important. And the reminder was your brand isn't what you do, it's how people feel. So go back at some point and look at that wheel of belonging. It's how do we make people feel? How do we make the members, the new members, as well as people in the community that we want to interact with. And to address these marketing strategies in greater detail for your courses and your quartets, and a lot of this applies to both, Alexis is now going to talk about marketing strategies for our courses. And any questions about this so far?
I'm seeing people and I'm getting no head shakes, so I think you're okay for now.
Okay.
Oh wait, Susan has a question. Come off mute for a second.
So, I don't know whether this is the place to talk about this or not, but we we struggle with gaining members because sometimes there's some arguing that happens outright at rehearsals. And you know, it's no secret, you know, we have two directors now, and you know, one is an arguer. There's no doubt about it. You know, and we worry about how, because we're having a membership drive on April 26th, I think, if that's a Tuesday. And some of us are very concerned about that. And I don't know whether this is another conversation to have with Evelyn and Debbie and Alexis separately, because, you know, I will certainly do that. And if you think that that's what that is, then I won't belabor the point here.
I think there's, and they can chime in as well. I think there's two aspects here. One is you have a, I think that is something, yes, we should talk about. And you do have a course liaison with the RMT.
I know, we do, but it just, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
No, and that's okay. Talking to us is fine. I will also tell you my feeling, and we have talked about this as an RMT. One of the future membership meets is really about the leadership's role in membership retention. And I think that is what you're talking about as well. And I remember, and I may give you, I'll look it up. Paula Davis did a wonderful Zoom, and I'll find the YouTube for you, where she talks about, she does do these kinds of sessions for directors and leaders of choruses. You know, and oftentimes when the leaders get together with, like within the leadership, let's say the directors of Region 15 choruses, what we're trying to accomplish here is open, honest communication. It's the same thing there. A lot of times though, when directors get together, not according to Evelyn, but according to Paula Davis, everything is like, oh, it's fine. This is great. This is great. This is great. This is what we're doing well. And the reality is, you know, post-COVID, everything, there are challenges. We all have challenges. And directors and leaders have to be open to introspection, to look at what's working and what's not working.
Okay.
You know, and so I think we'll talk about that, but I know that Harriet is trying to work on some of this from the directors, from the leadership perspective, and maybe this is something we need to do rather sooner than later. But we'll talk to you offline. I mean, anybody else? Alexis, Deb?
The only other thing I had that was kind of like perhaps like an actionable thing that you could do is for the purposes of the membership night, as the non-directors, I would say put together maybe an agenda of what that night would look like and present it to them, and in it do that thing where you're asking maybe one of them to be responsible for one part and one for another, and then make sure it's something that's distributed to everyone so everyone's on board with the plan. And then that way, during the course of the evening, there won't have to be as much of, oh, did we say we were going to do this or that? Like that kind of like basic, just like human who remembered what are we doing flow things can be removed from the equation, because everyone will kind of have at least the flow of how we want to do things, and use it to move forward. And that's just a tool that you can use anytime you've got people sharing leadership things, because everyone reacts differently to working on a team and being corrected in front of a group, or something like that, right? Like being corrected. I'm the kind of person who, if I said something and Ev was like, Alexis, that's not it, I'd be like, oh, thanks, Ev, and I'm good. And there are some people who, like, if you were like, hey, that's not it, they would like freeze up and feel really bad. And that's okay. That's also another way that people are, right? So just removing kind of those barriers to how folks might get all up in their feelings instead of being able to enjoy the experience is perhaps a tool.
Yeah. We need to muster.
Well, we're definitely gonna get together and make sure we can help you guys with whatever you need. But hopefully that helps at least for now.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I think eventually going back to the whole concept of the chorus culture, everybody's gotta, it's sitting there, open, honest communication, and sometimes it's not pretty. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say it's not pretty, but I can see someone like Paula Davis being able to say, come on, what are your challenges? And it's not negative necessarily, it's just challenges. We all are dealing with some of the same challenges, and getting ourselves to talk about it, I think is important. Bobby?
Oh, yeah.
Hi. Sorry. It's funny. Any leadership role I've ever had, I've been a teacher like my whole life. Any leadership role I've ever had, I always, and this is something you can definitely bring into this conversation, you're the parent and these are your children. Do you ever argue in front of your kids? So it's an analogy, but it's true, because there's nothing good that could come out of that in the public. So just, you're the parent. When you're an administrator, you're a leader, you have to view it like being a parent. And you're responsible for your behavior and how the audience, your kids or your other members of Sweet Adeline are viewing you. So, arguing should not happen in front of people. It really shouldn't, because you're going to have 400 different ideas how to handle it. It's like costumes. You need a costume director, or else everybody's going to want a different costume. So it's just another way to maybe look at it.
Deb, I don't know if you agree with me, but I see it. We have co-directors that have been co-directors for, I think now 8 years and a half, and I will tell you that there are times when it can appear to be frustrating, but they will never. I think they have made. It's my impression that they have made an agreement that they will consult each other before, like,
Yeah, they plan ahead, and if there's like they're not sure what they decided or something, they'll just say it in front of the chorus and okay, this is what we're going to do.
But they won't also say there's times where they will say, they will take back and never make, one of them will not make a decision and verbalize it in front of the chorus until, like you're saying, Bobby, until, like parents, they get together and discuss this.
Yes. They will say, we'll get back to you on that. Instead of arguing in front of us.
Yeah. Susan, you're muted.
Oh, I wish that would happen.
Well,
anyhow, but that's okay. So I don't want to belabor this. So I know I needed to put it out there.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And I hope this whole idea of the chorus culture and how that influences or helps you put together your membership recruitment, how it may help your membership retention, and how it's going to help your marketing of your course to the community. Like I said, I think is really critical. And I think we oftentimes look at it as, oh my God, I have to sit down and do this. But I think it really is the first step. Until you know that, you can't design an effective membership campaign, marketing strategy, presence within the community. So to talk more about that, Alexis.
Hi, it's me. I'm Alexis. You guys can see both me and Ev. I think I pinned us, yes? Cool, awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay, here we go. How to market your ensemble. Yes, I put a silly picture of the thing on my iPhone that I use as a picture of me on my slides because I'm like that. So I made this whole thing so you know it's coming from me. So what are the things that make up your identity? And I tried to gear this as your ensemble in that way, where if you wanted to take this information and use it also for a quartet or, you know, something like that, you could hopefully use it for both. But let's talk about the things that make up your identity. So what kind of music do you sing? Well, barbershop, duh, right? Haha, we all do that. Other a cappella. There are some of us that will do um more traditional, what they call like college a cappella, where you've got the basses singing the doom dooms and the tenors singing the toot toots and the baritones doing something and the leads singing the melody, right? Like you've got that sort of thing that'll happen. Or sometimes it's still very homorythmic, like what we do regularly. Some choruses like to bring music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? We've got all sorts of different eras of music. There's so much music. But what kind of music you sing and bring regularly to a performance does inform your identity. And then there's also seasonal repertoire. Do you have a whole bunch of Christmas music? Do you have a whole bunch of Hanukkah music? Do you have a whole bunch of Kwanzaa music? Are you a chorus that could sing an entire set on Arbor Day? I don't know. But if you did, that would make up your identity. And also, if you have that many songs about trees, I would like to know what they are. So different repertoire is going to bring people in. If you do that thing, sometimes people are like, how come we're not getting these kind of people, right? Uh, Whatever those kind of people are. Look at what you're singing. Think about if those people would show up to a performance or a rehearsal and want to be singing the songs you're singing, or if those things would make them feel a sense of belonging there, right? They can appreciate it, but would it make them feel like they wanted to be a part of that? So sometimes the things that you're singing are a thing that you need to address. And I know that you may be sitting here as a membership person or a marketing person or just a member of your chorus going, well, my director decides that, my music team decides that. And while that is true, we do have musical leaders who lead those conversations. You as a member get to go to them, hey, I think our repertoire might not be helping us bring in and retain the kind of membership we'd like to have, right? So how do we I'd love to see us diversify our repertoire so we get more people in the chorus, or we get different people than we already have, or um we've got a lot of young folks, we want to get some older folks, we got a lot of older folks, we want to get some younger folks. Like maybe we just get some rep from different time periods to bring in more people. So identity, what kind of music do you sing? Obviously a big part of who we are. And then what are you about? The music, obviously, right? That's going to be a big part of who you are. And then there's your chorus personality. One of the things I'm super proud of being in Region 15 is I think that our quartets and our choruses have tons of personality. And I think our contest the last couple of years have even shown it, because we have had less and less repeats at contests of music and of songs. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? Because we know there's some good charts that are just really fun. We all want to sing them. I get that. I too have sung How Deep is the Ocean, right? So that's going to be a part of it, but every chorus is really exploring the personality and what makes them them. HCC did a great thing this year where they had the whole Beatles set, which is really cool and is going to bring in, you know, a very specific group of people. You've got Carolyn Schmidt's chorus, Hickory Tree. They always do a really cool job of doing a lot of like Jersey-fied stuff. So they, you know, talk about going down the shore or, you know, whatever it is. And that's really an awesome thing because then people who are like, yeah, like I also have that pride of living there or going to those places, and that's going to bring in people there. So that personality, we've got choruses that are more big dancing choruses and are going to give you kind of like that Broadway razzle dazzle. And we've also got, you know, big choruses that have a lot of energy, but it's different than that, right? It's a different sort of thing. It's not a dancing energy. It's a just a different one. And we've got, and I don't know why I keep saying big because we've got courses of all sizes, obviously. Um, we've got small courses that'll put on packages that are completely in character, right? And that's also really cool and different. I love looking to it, like when you look at like Capital Land and Twin County, who are both awesome choruses who did so good this year. And they are of a similar-ish size, right? And I want to say this year they might have even like shared a song or something like that, but they did them so differently. And in that way where they both showed up and the membership looked so comfortable in what they were wearing and how they were singing. But again, two very different versions of that. So what is your personality? And how is that visual presentation coming through, right? How do you storytell? What are you wearing? Those are different things. You know, you can ask Jen Hunter when I showed up to like Saratoga soundtrack and it was like a perspective chorus and we were talking about stuff and I was like, do we get to wear matching outfits? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, sign me up, right? Which was true for me. But there are also people who would be like, wait, I have to wear matching outfits? Okay. Right. So knowing that you're going to have all different kinds of people like that. How you storytell is another one that's really great, whether it is you are a chorus that is very conscious of making sure that your storytelling is supremely inclusive. And so we've seen choruses who have taken love songs that have, you know, traditional pronouns and have made them neutral so that anyone can see that. I think actually Twin County did this year, and I remember sitting in the audience being very moved by it. Um, Once Upon a Time, someone with moonlight in their eyes, instead of a boy with moonlight in his eyes, right? And I was like, that's so great because like I'm a human who has had feelings for women as well as for men, and so for me to be able to step into that song and think about someone who I have loved who has not been, you know, that other thing was really cool to just kind of make it open to whatever story I as an audience member could bring into it, right? At the same time, if you have a chorus full of people who are one way and feel one way about a certain gender, and so that's the story you tell, that's also okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not saying that's bad. It's just a different way to storytell, right? So just looking at those things and then considering what they say about you, how they invite people in to become a part of that belonging, if they see themselves being a part of that, right? Because we're talking about that relationship of marketing, and really everything we do is on some level marketing people about what we're doing, even if we're not like at the end of it being like, hire us, right? We're still, or join us, right? There's still that just basic thing of presenting who we are and people on their own deciding if they want to hire us or if they want to join us, right? So it's the passive marketing almost. Maybe think of it that way. And then things that also make up your identity are your brand. Ev was talking about this, and thinking about what the chorus brand is. What colors do we use when we advertise our chorus, or just what colors do we tend to wear, or things like that. What fonts do we use? What is the voice or tone? Are we very playful? Are we more serious, which is fine and great? And are we a little bit sassy? Are we so warm and welcoming? And are there aspects of all of that, right? Are we more straightforward and professional because we value our time together and our members value our time together, and we want to attract people that also want that, right? There is no kind of wrong way to be with that. Can we get a copy of this PowerPoint? Yes,
Yeah.
we can. And also this presentation will also get added to the list of there's a YouTube playlist with all of these, and it's also going to get linked on the website, which it is not currently, but it will be. Yes, of course. Okay, so that's ensemble identity. So just kind of a little overview on that.
Can I just bring a
yeah.
point that I want to make
Please
is
do.
you did more to identify the identities of the choruses within the region. I'm very impressed. I mean, your analysis when you're looking at the regional competition and these choruses comes from a marketing perspective, but also comes from a sweet Adeline, it's from a barbershop community perspective. And exactly what you were talking about, and your identification of the identities of some of the choruses was pretty spot on and pretty impressive.
Listen, I think our region's pretty impressive, so makes it easy to do.
But I mean, do other people agree? I mean, she took a look at some of these our choruses and identify identities. Now, some of these choruses might not even be aware of. Some may be aware of these identities, others may not, and being aware of them really helps you in the future, helps you market your ensemble.
Can I just say something? I'm so glad to see that you did mention other types of music besides just barbershop, because in Holly, some of the older members, we don't really have a lot of members, but we have a few that have been there a very long time. And they have always been pushing the barbershop sound without really taking into account that there is other a cappella music that could be used in shows or whatever. Maybe not in competition. I think that has to be barbershop. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, unless
Okay.
you did open division, then you have a little bit more variables.
More leeway. So this gives us a little more leeway for choosing music that maybe we can get people more on board with to get more membership, because
Definitely.
not everybody loves barbershop, but if they know that, we can venture into another type of music, that might be very helpful. Thank you so much.
And another
for bringing
thing to
that
know
up.
about that too is that when you sing other forms of a cappella, it also builds your barbershop craft. Like, one of the things barbershop is so good at is that big wall of sound, right? And so when you take that knowledge, that feeling, and our tuning is like, boom, there was an article once about like barbershop singers are the ninjas of a cappella, right? So you take that into a traditional a cappella chart, and you're already bringing to it a greater sensitivity to tuning, a greater sensitivity to part balance, right? But it might help your chorus develop more rhythmic, what's the word? Perspectives, sensitivities. And so that way, then when you go back to your barbershop music, you can bring more rhythmic sensitivity to that, and layer your skill set. Or maybe you want to sing some really cool like sea shanties type stuff, or like Celtic music. One year Sirens did Caval Spheri, which is very like the white noise, or not white noise, white sound. Like, it's a very specific type of singing, and it forced us to use our voices in a different way, and so we got to just flex a different muscle and learn about that. So also thinking about how it is going to just inform and enrich your membership to learn new skills. And it's all singing skills, right? You're all learning how to use your instrument in cool new ways. So definitely in.
Yeah.
Well,
great.
and there's going to be instances where you've got some people that it's barbershop, and barbershop is what, pure barbershop is what gives them the thrill. And they want to sing pure barbershop versus others, and they're again, it goes back to identifying who you are, what you want to be, and that you have an agreement that, to put on a show and connect with the audience. Sometimes some of this other music is necessary, and music that the audience is recognize and can relate to. And I mean, I know we have people who, if a new song that's not barbershop, it's like, I want to sing barbershop. Well, it's a compromise.
And then we end up loving it anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I touched on, I'm trying to remember what are my slides, and how much I touched on core values in this, but that's also a place where your values or your mission or your chorus identity also come through, right? So if you're looking at a song and people are like, this isn't us, right? And then you're like, well, wait, this is who we've said us is, right? Core values is who we've determined who we are. So with Sirens, for us, it's ambition, authenticity, and joy. So like a song might come through and it's like, can people sing this authentically? Or does it feel ambitious? Is it helping us level up our skills? Or do we just have fun singing it, right? Like, is it going to bring joy to us and audiences, right? So, or if you as a chorus have decided that, community is a huge core value for you, and this song is like, it's like the town fight song for whatever reason, and you sing at a lot of town events, like, wouldn't that be cool? And wouldn't that fit right in with who your identity is, what your values are, and all of that sort of stuff. I saw a chat.
Yeah,
HBC, yeah.
Survey asking members about how much barbershop versus other genres they wanted. I would love to hear about that.
I mean, because like if you wanted to get technical, you could just do your 2 contest songs as barbershop and do everything else the rest of the year that wasn't. There are a million ways to be a chorus, and there are a million ways to be a barbershop chorus, a Sweet Adeline chorus. So figuring out your identity is a great way to shape kind of everything.
Just like Evelyn's been saying, knowing who you are and what your core values are helps guide all these decisions about stuff.
Yep.
But it sounds, I don't know it sounds scary to have to sit down and do that. And I think the other side of it is it takes time away from chorus rehearsals, but know that, in my opinion, it's worthwhile, and that there are individuals within the region, within the organization, if that's what you determine is the next step for you all, reach out to us, because we will, and this next Thrive program, I think you will see that if that's what you want, that's where you want to go, that there are resources to help you do that.
Yeah, I'm a resource for that. There are other resources for that, whether it's me or other people on the faculty or different things like that. There's lots of people who would totally help with that. So how to market your ensemble. First, identity. Who are we? Great. Next, our digital presence. So much of marketing is digital these days, and so I did an entire slide on digital presence. So my big thing is always, if you're going to be anywhere online, make sure you keep it current. If that's a website, if that's a Facebook page, if that's an Instagram page, whatever it is, you don't just want to have something to have it. You don't want to be like, we heard TikTok was the new hotness, so we got on TikTok and we posted once and never again. That's not the new hotness, right? So you want to be active, you want to be engaged, and you don't have to be everywhere to be current. Again, like I said, figure out where it's going to make sense. Maybe you have a chorus where someone's really excited about doing something like that. Let them go to town on it. But maybe your chorus is a little bit smaller and you are the only person doing marketing. What can you handle, right? If the chorus is like, we really want an Instagram page, and you're the marketing person and you're like, I don't use Instagram at all, I don't have familiarity with that, it's okay to say that, like, I mean, and if you're someone, if you want to, branch out, if you want to learn, totally fine. But if you only have enough space in your life to do what you're doing, right? You might have to say to the chorus, that's not something I can take on right now. If there's someone in the chorus who would like to step up and do that, I would love to work with them to make sure that fits in with everything else we're doing from a chorus perspective. Um, and so knowing and saying those things is important too. We actually just did a whole revamp for Siren stuff. I haven't been on the Sirens marketing team for a long time, but I am again now. And me and another Siren are kind of heading it up, and we kind of split things up. So like I have a couple channels, she has a couple channels, and we're kind of like the heads of those. We all get together. So however you want to set up your team or working structure is fine. Here's a basic guide to things that you may have in your digital presence. So your ensemble email, right? A way for people to get a hold of you and say, I want to come to rehearsal, or I want you guys to sing at my bar mitzvah, whatever it is. And it could be as simple as yourensemble@gmail.com. You can get a free Gmail very easily. Or it could be that you have an email that is tied to your URL. Anything that you have to pay additional money for, I put a money sign for, so you know. Everything else is a free resource. And so then when it comes to your website, right, if you have one, I think everyone in the region does have a website that is yourensemble.com or yourensemble.org, since we are nonprofit organizations. Facebook or Instagram.com/yourensemble. And then a bio site, or I know people have probably seen something like a link tree, something like that for Instagram in particular. There's the idea that there's that one kind of link in your bio, and you click on that and it'll give you what they call a link tree, or a bio site, which is a free thing. And it's that join us, hire us, support our membership campaign, see this one link to our performances, sort of things. And again, anything that's listed here, if you have any questions about or you want to learn about, I'm always happy to talk and teach and do all those sort of things. And then kind of a very general social media thing.
This,
Yeah.
just one point as far as the website is
Yeah.
concerned. If someone has to search for something, if they're spending an inordinate amount of time trying to find your Facebook page or trying to find things,
Mhm.
it's not going to work.
So that's the other thing. If you have a website and you have a social media presence, you want to make sure that they are linked. A lot of times there are websites that have functionality where you can have a little icon right there and click right over. Or if you just have the contact us page or find us sort of things like that, make sure that your social media is easy to access from your website. This was a conversation that Evan and I had where there was a chorus where there was like no link, and she had to go scouring the internet for it. So part of the idea with digital presence too is making it as easy as possible for people to get a hold of you in the way they want to, right? Like some people are like, oh, I just want to check Instagram, I just want to check Facebook, I just want to check the website. Okay, great. Make that easy for them to do. Yeah. Okay. And then to speak to that social media. So with Facebook, there are a lot of different ways you can kind of show up. You can do targeted ads. I should have put a little $ after that, note to self. Wherein if you post something, right? If you shared like, oh, we have a membership night coming up, or oh, we have a show coming up, you can then boost those posts, and you can say like, I want to throw $10 at this, show it to people aged 18 to 80, and in like the 25-mile radius of where my chorus is, who say they like singing, right? Like it kind of like will lead you through who the targeting is, and you put the dollar cap on it right then. You say, I don't want to spend any more than $20, $40, whatever it is on this thing, $10, and it will show it as many times as whatever that cost is. And then it'll spit you back a report saying this many people saw it or interacted with it, whatever it is. So you can use Facebook targeted ads to increase your reach. You can use community groups. Sometimes with a community group, you have to show up as on Facebook as like you yourself, like Alexis. Sometimes in a community group, you can show up as the chorus or the region or the quartet. It depends on the way the group is set up. So whether that is a barbershop community group, whether that is like the Ridgewood Local Women's Society, or the Clifton, New Jersey Homeowners Association, whatever it is, you can show up in different places to let people know that this is a community they can come and sing with, or a group that they could hire for an event, right? There are different places like that. And then, of course, it's a great place to share your photos, your videos, and things like that. And I'm going to get a little into photos and videos, but I'm going to move through these first and then I'll go back to that. Instagram is a very visual medium. So it is photos and videos. There is, with TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, what they call reels, which are the vertical videos that tend to be shorter. And so with Instagram, again, like I said, it's very visual. So it's not a place where you're going to post a lot of text. You're not going to be doing a lot with links to other things there. But if you've got a great picture of some people singing or laughing and having a great time, or, singing at the local market, like Instagram is really great for things like that. TikTok again can be a really fun place to show up and join, have fun with trends. I've seen some choruses do some really fun stuff. There's this one chorus. I don't even know where they're from. I don't know if it's an entirely men's chorus or not, but it's a BHS chorus, and they do a lot of you're at a barbershop rehearsal when, or like just like silly fun things. And that's the whole kind of vibe of that chorus, is it's very like, oh, the bass is this, or oh, the lead's that, or the tenor's that, which for some people is hilarious and all they want to do. For some people it's like, oh great, I'm not into that. For me, I love watching it, and I feel like if I went to the rehearsal, I knew exactly what I'd be getting, right? Like I'd be having fun. I'd be doing, whatever it is. So, now I'm talking and I'm warm. It's going to happen eventually. So it's a great way to show off who they are and hopefully get people who are like them to come and be a part of that conversation. Let's see. I saw it.
Janice, didn't HCC do something like that on your Facebook page? I'm trying to remember. It's barbershop when I'm trying to.
You gotta come off mute, Janice.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I started actually getting ideas for that, and we were coming up with kind of like a script to do it. And so we've done similar stuff like that, but it's funny you mentioned that, Alexis, because that was one of the trends I definitely wanted to jump on, because I think it's really funny, and there's so many things you could use that were fun, but we never like filmed the video for TikTok. So
and it is work to do social media content, right? Videos in particular take some work, because there's always a little bit, there's always some editing, there's, some things like that. Whereas with a photo, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, we cropped it and we fixed the colors and we posted it, right? Like that's much easier than video editing. So that's, unless you have someone who is someone or someones who are passionate and have the time for that, it can be harder to keep up with it.
Right.
But if you do, then it can be a really fun way to engage.
Yeah. And that's absolutely my goal. And my goal is to get better at TikTok and do those fun, trendy, whatever's kind of like trending, and do that for, for the barbershop worlds,
Did you do it on Conversation? You and
yes, that's what it was. I posted it on Conversations, and it actually created a big buzz because people got really into it and wrote some funny stuff. And I think I got, that's how I started stirring up like ideas on Conversation.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
Thanks for remembering that.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Oh. And then we've got YouTube, which I know a lot of us also use as kind of storage for rehearsal videos, or choreo teaching things, which I think is great. But YouTube can be used for both long and short form videos. So there is also a YouTube Shorts. So if you decide you've got someone who's really into those reels, those short form things, you can repurpose them and use them across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Shorts. But YouTube, you can also use, your long form video. That's where you post your contest video, things like that. Another thing just to look at when you're posting any sort of performance video is to see, and usually I will just type this into like Google or something and check what is going to be the most interacted with. So for example, when I post a contest video for any ensemble, quartet, chorus, whatever it is, I will usually post it, like upload it to Facebook and upload it to YouTube, because typically things get better engagement when it's a native view, they call it. So a Facebook video on Facebook versus a YouTube video that's linked on Facebook, because it's like one more step removed. But I will Google it to be like, hey, is that the thing that still gets the most views before I post it? Ev, did you have something?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you go on to the next thing, I don't want
Yep.
to. So my question was, I don't think any of us in Region 15 have done any commercials, like put together videos that are commercials that talk about our choruses, kind of just a commercial. I looked at a couple online, Lionsgate, and actually in the membership retention and Ignite the Sound, there's actual directions for putting together a chorus commercial that will talk about who you are, whatever. I don't know of any choruses in Region 15. If anyone has done that.
My old chorus in Region 16 did that. I have a link to it. I can share that with anybody that wants to see it. It's just it's a commercial.
Yeah.
Talks about, there's members talking about why they enjoy being there, and they're singing, and yeah, it's good.
Who they are, their identity, what they do.
So
thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are that you would want to have an outline for it, that you would probably want to have maybe a short form and a long form. And by short form, I mean like under a minute. And by long form, I mean like 2 or 3 minutes at the longest, sort of thing, because online attention spans are very short. And I would say that you would want to include either video or audio of the chorus singing. Obviously, that's going to be important. You're going to want to see pictures of people in both casual wear and performance wear, right? So you don't only want to see people all dolled up in the sequence. You also want to see them in what they're going to wear to a rehearsal on a regular night. And again, you can kind of block it out. So you could be like, we rehearsed here and it's really easy to get to, and I came for the music, I stayed for the friendships, or kind of whatever it is. And again, you could do a short form thing. Make sure that anyone you have talking is someone who can do so confidently and kind of connect, and if it's someone who's going to be like looking down the barrel of a thing, then have it be someone who can connect with the camera in that way. Or you could have it be where there's someone off to the side and everyone's talking to that person, right? Be like, oh yeah, I love this, right? So unify that kind of vision of things, and just kind of do an outline for it. What is it for? Is it a commercial for membership or a commercial for hire us, right? Because those would be different. And I think if you try and do both in one, it would be less successful. So yeah, I would say short form and long form, like determine the audience, and then set yourself some sort of like outline so you know what you're trying to go for. And it could totally be a thing that is viable and brings people to you. Yeah, it should just be informed by your identity like everything else. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, photos and videos. When we post things, take a look at how much you post of people in performance gear versus like regular rehearsal gear. And if you have different levels of performance wear, like if there's contest and then there's like local sing out, right? If you wear different things, again, consider how much time you spend in that outfit and what is the percentage that you are putting out of it, right? Like if we spend 10% of our year in our contest outfit, but we put out 90% of our advertisements in it, maybe that's not as good of a representation of who we are, unless as a chorus, we really do spend 90% of our year working on contest stuff, then maybe it is a fair-ish representation as far as like your goals, because your focus is that contest moment. But think about that. If you do more local sing-outs and we're all wearing, our polo with the chorus name on it, and we do that most of the year, then maybe more of our pictures should look like that. Or maybe we should have someone step off the risers during rehearsal and get some video of us just singing. And because we spend most of our time in rehearsal, and we have like 2 big shows a year, but we really love the time we spend together on the risers every week. So consider also the percentages of what you're using. I know sometimes you're like, we've got a good picture of the chorus, we have to use it for everything. Trust me, I understand. Trust me, because you always got that one where someone's like, right? And you're like, well, now we can't use that photo. So that's real. But yeah, consider what level of, again, formality, not even formality, just like, what are you wearing and how much do you actually wear that thing? And what does that say? What are you putting out about your identity, right? Again, as I was saying, like, what are people's perception versus what are they getting when they walk in? Yeah. Okay. So this is like a quick and dirty branding thing that I put together, I think for Quartet Day originally. And I just wanted to show you that with a few simple choices, you can put together very different brands. So I I'll start with the one on the left with the blue and the purple. I picked 2 fonts, what we'll call like a fancy font and a simple font. Right? So the first one is the one where it would be like the name of the chorus, and then all the information would probably be in the second one. So I picked I did everything in black, and then I did 2 additional colors. And I just put as the tagline for this one, an a cappella chorus. We'd love to sing for you, right? So just a very simple thing of the name of the chorus, the name of the font I chose, the hex code for that color. And also I know some people, there's a million different ways to classify colors, whether you use the hex code or whether you use the RBG values or different things like that. And there's lots of online tools that can help you decode. Or if you're like, we've always used this purple forever, I just copy it over. There's a thing that you can use to kind of like get the dropper from it and get the hex code so that other people can use it. And if you're like, this is too much and I will never know what the code is, that's also fine. You could just be like, we use purple, also fine. But this is how I wanted to break it down. And then on the right, again, a similar thing. I did black. I did a more kind of like fancy or a headline font, and then a simpler, more readable font. And this one, the only tagline I changed was a barbershop chorus instead of an a cappella chorus. And I used capitalization, whereas in the other one, I used all lowercase. But just looking at these 2, take a moment and, ooh, we got chat things. What do people say? Take a moment and see. Looks like LOC colors. Yeah, it does kind of look like LOC colors. Do you already have an impression of who these 2 groups might be, like, or what they might sing? Like, do these colorways and font choices already tell you some things? And if you have any thoughts about it, just come off mute and shout them out. What do you think?
The one with the purple is more vibrant and more fun. And the one with the red and the gold or yellowish is a little more formal, let's say.
Awesome. Totally a valid interpretation. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm a huge font person, and I feel like the font has to fit like the personality and what we're trying, the message that we're trying to get across, like for the post.
Yeah.
So like I spend like a lot of my time deciding like what kind of font I want to use with it.
Mhm.
to kind of all piece it together. So
Yeah. And that's one of those things too, where you can choose a font that is like, this font is the chorus font, and so anytime you see anything, it's going to be there, and then to the point that people will see that and know it's the chorus font. You can also do that sort of thing where you're like, this is a campaign. So like for like with the membership meet with Ev, you guys can see I've used the same colors, same fonts for all of those. So when you see that, you know that's membership meet with Evelyn, right? Like that's, and it's within the brand, right? It's not, it doesn't match the regional logo or anything. I did it as its own separate kind of thing. But
Well, and you
see it.
did ask me in the
I
beginning,
did ask Evelyn. Yeah.
what colors speak to me?
Yes, I did ask her. I was like, what colors are you of? And as you know, she is a vibrant woman, so I went with vibrant color. I want to say, anyone else who had like a reaction to these? Okay. I want to say I did this at Quartet Day and someone was like, oh, the red and yellow one, like they definitely sing like the Mamas and the Papas and the Beatles and the Turtles, and like so they saw it immediately. They're like, oh, I know exactly, like for them it gave them a like a time period sort of thing, and they're like, ooh, I know what that group sings, right? And again, sometimes people are going to see a thing and have a different association with it than the one that you intended, and that's going to be fine. That's humans. It's nothing you can do. But just in general, the fact that, you see something and you go, ooh, that's this, or the fact that someone was like, those look like LOC colors. LOC is very strong with their teal and their purple, right? So their blue it's got more green in it than this one does. But yeah, that would be a very LOC sort of thing, and they are very identifiable in their branding, which is wonderful. So thinking about that, Saratoga soundtrack, it's got that classic blue, so if you see that, that's them. So that's one way that you can be identifiable is in your branding. Questions for me?
I have a comment about those fonts too.
Yes.
I like both sides.
Yep.
I take the left side to be more fun, a little less serious. I think both of them are attractive. I like both of them.
Yeah.
The one on the right seems to be more, to me, serious. I mean,
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. It just strikes me that way.
Well, yeah. And
and
that's
fonts,
a cool thing to consider, right? Like if you are someone who's like, I only have one night a week that's free and I want to make music during that time, and you know what I mean? Like then you might be like, this chorus has their stuff together. I want to be there. I'm serious about my musicianship and I want to go there. Or you might be like, I want to party on a Tuesday. Boom, ensemble on the left, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So like, and again, it's one of those like neutral value sort of things, right? It's not good or bad. The thing that is good or bad is
Oh,
how
no.
true it is to you
It's
and your
not,
intention.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I tend to like the colors on the left, even though the ones on the right are warm.
Hmm.
I tend to be more attracted to those colors.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know if you've noticed that Harmony Celebration they have two different brand colors, like purple and like it's not fuchsia.
it's almost the same colors as LOC, to be honest.
It's very similar. Yeah.
And I
But
don't know
but
how.
we're not known for that, and LOC is. And
Exactly.
I find that very interesting
The
because
HCC is
Yeah.
more of a, I would say more of a blue green, and the
Yes.
LOC is more of like a
Yes.
straight up like tealy color. There's just more.
yeah,
But LOC is very known for their colors, whereas HCC, I
I'm
want to say
not-
both chorus logos came about around the same time in the region.
Mm-hmm.
But LOC made those colors who they are. They wear
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
They do
Wear
that.
them.
I don't even know how. I'm sorry.
They wear them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Whereas
And
HCC is, I think we had it as a part of one logo on one T-shirt once, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. Well,
yeah.
and since I've been in HCC, it hasn't been like
Yeah.
it's just been like different colors, and
Yeah.
and it's like it's almost like a forgotten, like, oh yeah, that's our logo. So hearing you talk about this is really interesting for me and eye-opening, and like getting some thoughts just about.
And I
like
think of,
our
it's funny, I
brand.
think of the HCC, I think of like the HCC, like I think of that as the thing. But
Uh-huh.
like maybe as far as the colorways, like maybe it's time to sit here and be like,
Yeah.
is it not one
them.
color? Is it four? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it that is the
Right.
celebration is in the color? Like, do we
Right.
want to look at how we do that? That's a
Right.
fair question to ask.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, when I started, I found out that it was Beth Fulton who created that. I'm not quite sure why those colors were chosen. I would have to find out. I would have to ask her because I think they're very pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Um,
don't think it matters why, but I think it matters that like we either use them or we don't, or
I see you, Deb.
we decide whether that we want that more as our identity
Yeah.
or we want something else, you know?
Well, that's exactly it. Or do
Yep.
you
Yeah.
want to make that a part of a larger palette or things like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You will never see North Metro not wearing gold, a yellow and black.
Yeah.
It's always, and it's different yellows, it's different golds, but
Mm-hmm.
they are always in gold and black.
And it's funny, like ever since I've seen the Sirens logo, like I'm like, I want a Siren sweatshirt. Like I love your logo and I love that so much. But I also know that you guys kind of play around with colors too.
A little
And
bit.
are not always you know, so
Debbie has had her hand up.
Oh, I was just going to say on the right, the word that comes to me is intense.
Ooh, okay. Which is so interesting to me because I feel like the left is more intense.
Me too.
But
Really?
again, like that's one of the cool things, like to have this sort of thing, or for it to be the sort of thing where your marketing team comes up with. So these are obviously very contrasting ones, but it could be something where you come up with two that are pretty close, right? Or share more similarities. And before you decide, you pull the chorus and you see the choruses, that's us. You know what I mean? And then you use that to move forward. But don't give them every option under the sun because then you will get 57 opinions, right? Narrow the scope and help them to focus as the person who is the marketing person, as the person who is the membership person, right? As the leaders, help them to focus their energy among a smaller group of choices. Yeah.
And and
Hands.
the reality of changing, rebranding, if you don't think that's a big thing,
Oh, yeah.
and the entire chorus. I mean, and that's one of the examples on the Sweet Adeline website is where this chorus was marketing themselves, and who they were marketing to, they felt their image did not meet that. And one of the things they needed to do was look at their logo and update, refresh their logo. That's a huge decision, but that is certainly an option. I mean, like you said, I love
Bobby.
Sirens logo.
Hi.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Barb.
I just wanted to mention, I don't know if I could show this to you. I've been a member since year of the flood, I guess, 1972.
Nice.
And I've always wanted to put together this window decal.
Okay.
And we used Mellow Deer's publicity person there did our name tags. So we really liked the way she did that. They were magnets. So we wear them at all our, we have our rows and all that Twin County stuff. But I wanted to do this and the team finally agreed and we did it. And now, I don't know if I could show this to you. Can you read it? It says Miss Singing, visit twincountychorus.com. And they stick on the outside of the window. So every member now has their car with a decal.
And I'm pretty sure that's the same font that you use for Twin County Chorus, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
It is a similar flavor. Like to me, that would still, even though obviously it says Twin County, like it reads to me stylistically as Twin County.
And it stays beautiful on the outside of the window. So anywhere you drive, and everyone has two cars.
Yeah.
And if they're willing to put it on their car, it's up to them.
Yeah.
But now you're publicizing all over Long Island.
Yeah, we love that.
So this really worked out finally. I feel like I've done my job now.
Congratulations on your big win.
For so many years, I wanted to do that. But now I'm waiting for the phone to ring off the hook. It's not happening. I don't know why.
Well, hopefully they're clicking the links instead, right? Maybe they're
Hopefully.
viewing off the hook.
Hopefully, right, right. So that was my big deal.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And that's
Sure.
actually, that leads me into a little bit, I'm coming to you next, Bonnie. That leads me to something, just so you guys know, like I said, we're looking into a lot of things with the region and moving forward in new and exciting ways and talking about unity. And one of the ways we want to do that is also just by celebrating all the things that success looks like. So to me, like, that's a win. Like, our chorus got these awesome things, and like, and the excitement that you had about that, like, that's a win. Like, that is an awesome success that your chorus is having, and celebrating that to me is just as cool. Like, I would love it if you guys posted a picture of like a couple of the cars, like, look what all of our members have, like, on your social media. I would share that to the regional stuff in a heartbeat. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a
So,
great idea.
like, please share your successes and everything that they look like, not just performance successes.
Thank you.
Bonnie.
Yes, first of all, this is all fantastic. I love all of the idea of sharing with each other. One of the things we started to do is such a simple thing, but we added the words a cappella. You know, we put barbershop and singing, and a lot of people don't know what barbershop exactly is. So putting a cappella, when I'm looking at the left side, that catches my eye.
Nice.
And of course, you put underneath, you know, a member of Sweet Adelines, but at least it shows them that, yes, we sing a cappella.
Yeah,
So that was
definitely.
really good. The other thing is I'm thinking a lot about having colors and logo. We have a logo, but our colors really aren't defined right now. And I think it's actually been a source of disagreement among the costume committee, and we get nowhere. So I'm guessing that getting that set is important, because when you market yourself, and people should recognize you right away. Do you think that's important to identify maybe two colors? Or
I think so. I would also say that focusing your colors from a marketing perspective does not need to limit your colors from a costume perspective. I would say, if anything, it might focus your more casual costume looks, right? So I know Hickory Tree is. Do you guys usually have those cool? They're like a raspberry colored button up or something like that.
Yes, we've had those for a while. Yes.
Right. So if you decide that like you like those and you still want to use those, then I would think of that as one of your colors, that like pinky red, right? And so I would say that if anything, that might tie more into, again, because Liberty Oak doesn't always wear purple and teal on stage, but when they're in their Liberty Oak like hangout, like chorus, like swag gear, their walkarounds or whatever, that stuff is really, really their colors. So I would say it doesn't have to limit your costume, like your formal costumes, especially because you want to allow flexibility for so many things when it comes to that, whether it's we're wearing something for a particular package, or we want to pick something that we're going to be able to use over several years because it's a financial reason. Like, there's so many things that can go into costuming. I would not say to limit your formal costuming by your chorus branding. Go.
Well, I totally agree with that, because, but your casual wear within the community, I'm sure when LOC shows up with their colors, Spirit of Syracuse shows up with red, white, and black, it's people start to recognize you. And so when the advertising has those colors, when you're wearing those colors, regardless of whether it's a super casual, a semi-casual, whatever it is, they start to recognize, and that's brand recognition, which I think really helps. But I agree with you as far as not the formal, contest.
And it evolves over time too. Like, Sirens for the longest time we did black and bling, and then we did the Harmony Classic package with the kind of vibrant rainbow. And then we used the black Sirens logo with that vibrant rainbow, right? Like, we did that. And we've also done, again, targeted looks for different packages and stuff like that. But we've continued to use that kind of like, you wear a bright color with your Sirens black as a thing that we do. And I mean, I could talk about outfits and different things like that for hours. And I would even love to moderate a discussion among a team just to get them to consider different things. So if that's a thing I can help you with, please let me know. I would love to. But I wouldn't say it needs to limit your formal costuming, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. I love thoughtful discussions.
I know, so do I. That's 90% of it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's getting you all to share. And like Alexis said, we're really focusing. What I want to do is celebrate the new members. And you saw the first thing we did that at regional, but getting choruses to share with me who their new members are, whether we do it quarterly, I think that's probably the answer, but having a connection with the RMT, the new members, I think is really important, and what we can do to make them feel welcome. If you have any ideas, more than welcome to, hear them. But that was just the first step, getting a picture, like that took, well, it actually did take a little effort, Alexis. No.
But you know what I mean? But comparatively, right? The lift compared to the lift of the whole weekend, the lift of that picture, and the joy way outweighed everything else. So nice. I want to say that's the end of my formal slides.
I think it is.
It is. But obviously, if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Can I suggest something you haven't mentioned?
Yes,
Alexis?
please.
You're great. You know I love you. But what I think makes a difference, we brought 8 new members to the regional competition this year.
Who's talking?
Oh, it's Carol. Here.
Carol, here, let me do this. Let me do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to unpin us so we can see all the people.
Great. What I think is important that when somebody comes for the first time, and right now we have a terrific communications person, and she's doing so much to help bring people in also. But when they come in, I greet them, of course, and before, once I voice test them, and Kat is our director, and if you know Kat Britt, she just exudes friendliness, and always. So I introduced the new, or the guest, to the chorus, and I'll make a comment like, we had somebody recently that just had a baby, and she said she doesn't know, how much she can get away as long as her husband's home or whatever. And I said to her, oh, well, this is Mary, and Robin just had Robin's baby was born recently too. You have something. So, or this is Inga. She lives in Princeton. Gail lives in Princeton. So it gives them right away a connection to somebody, and it then, when we're done, that person will go up and talk to them and other people, and they come back.
That's the belonging. You
It's
made
beautiful.
them feel. You made those people feel.
Yeah, but I think that introduction before you put them on the risers is important.
Well, and it's interesting because I would so say that a hallmark of Jersey Harmony is that community. And when I have ever gone into that chorus's hospitality suite, it feels like everyone there is just it's like a big family room, you know what I mean? Everyone's there together, and y'all definitely exude that. And I would say that that's a huge part of your identity. I don't know if you guys identify that as a part of who you are.
It's a
good.
family.
When I visited Jersey Harmony, it was such a positive feeling, and everybody was just joyful. So I agree.
And I think that has a lot to do with Kat too.
Oh yeah.
She
sets a great tone.
I think one of the things this past year, we've really focused on retention. I think we may need to go back to recruitment and maybe share with each other. I know LOC right now is, with balancing act, coordinating it, doing a membership drive. I would love to hear more about that and share that. There's so much going on with the different choruses, and trying to figure out, I want to continue these sessions We were actually, Alexis and I were talking about it, and how often we do them, and you don't have to come to every one, but I think they're really beneficial. And actually, the next slide talks about future discussions, and I'm thinking about going back to membership recruitment, but I also think we need to, the leadership role, leadership's role in membership retention is really critical. As one of the other ones that I don't know how fun it sounds, but membership retention, one of the obstacles to membership retention is dollars, what this hobby costs. And so really maybe doing a session on fundraising and the finances role in retention. Those are kind of things that are bubbling around in my brain. And if you have any suggestions, please let Alexis or let me know. We also may be teaching a class in Vocal Fest, so it could be one of those things. But I think we need to go back to recruitment as well. But we'll see what this Thrive program. I don't know if we all received an email, and it's a new essay so the next membership meet is May 10th, topic to be determined. And if you have any strong feelings about that, let me know. Like I said, I'm kind of going back and forth with all these things. One of the other ideas is when you RSVP to these membership meets, there's a comment section and things you'd like to know about. So really me taking a look at that with Alexis and Deb maybe, and seeing if there might be some focused discussions there. But I really think the leadership's role in retention, fundraising, financing, and then going back and sharing some of the membership programs that are going on right now within the region, and the successes. Those are possibilities. But go to the next slide, Alexis, please. So this new, I say it with a little chuckle, new SAI initiative, and really what it is designed is a new way to help chapters thrive by really combining the benefits of the mission retention as well as Ignite the Sound. And it's a pilot program that's going to be running from May 1, 2025 to April 30th, 2026. And there's going to be a resource library, is a compilation of resources that chapters may use to further their recruitment and retention goals. You got to have goals first, okay? So what do you want to accomplish? And we'll talk more about that, but it really is a lot about what we talked about today. There's branding, there's commercials, there's chorus culture, all of these things. It's your choruses determining what you need, and there will be ways for us to the RMT to help you all accomplish these goals. But more info to follow, because I don't think we have any more information than you all do. And then, exciting, on June 7th, Leadership Day with Jen Cook. And if you've never been to a class given by Jen or a Zoom meeting, I would say she is one of the most informative, dynamic, exciting speakers that I've ever listened to in the barbershop world. Enthusiastic, and topics, I don't think we know the topic yet, but I would recommend.
Yeah, and I know our regional team leader, Jen, different Jen, Hunter, is also going to be speaking that day as well, which is going to be exciting. So it'll be that'll be in addition. We'll have double gens, which will be really amazing. Yeah, so it's going to be a really exciting day. There's also another question in the chat, if I can hijack for a second, Ev.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't.
So I was asked about what are my thoughts on QR codes on all marketing material, including business cards. So I love a QR code. I think it's a great way of helping people get to a link very easy. So those little, for people who may not know, the little like square, black boxes that you can put if you have a smartphone, you can bring it right up on your camera and then it lets you click on the link and takes you somewhere. QR codes can be a great way to get people to, like they call it an activation point. You can get right in there and get to where you've got to go. So obviously, if you have something really easy, harmonycelebration.com, you can remember that, you can plug that in. But if you're thinking of something specific, like if you have a sing out and you have an upcoming show, right? Let's say you're doing a holiday sing out, you could put on the back of your folder, the folders that everyone's holding for holiday music, maybe a QR code that takes you directly to the show. And then that would be something that could be like a seasonal or a temporary QR code that we'd use, that you wouldn't want it to be something that's permanent. If you're putting something on a business card, that's a little bit more permanent, right? Because you're doing a printed run of something. You would want that to go to a more, what we call an evergreen, haha, pardon the chorus reference, link. Oh, what's that a link to, Deb? I want to scan it and find out.
It's just an example. It's Wikipedia. That's the quickest one I found.
Oh, nice.
Just as an example for in case anybody didn't know what it was.
Great. So, if you put something on a business card, you want it to be a more permanent or evergreen, so to speak, meaning it's not going to be changing all the time, link. So it could just be a QR code to your either Hire Us page or your Join Us page or just your web page in general, or Donate to Us, whatever it's going to be. So I love QR codes and I think they're great and I think they're more and more in use. But I would just make sure that you, I don't want to say use them appropriately, but if it's going to be something that's a more targeted thing, it's a performance, which has obviously like an end date or something like that. I would use those more in different ways, right? Like I wouldn't put that on a business card. I would put that on a sign that's something's going to be out, or I would put it on some social media post or something like that. But always happy to answer questions about that. Anne, question.
I don't have a question, but we actually used that, the QR code in our Christmas performances that we did last year.
Nice.
And what we did was put a QR code out there for everybody in the audience for the sing-alongs that we had, so that they had access to the songs that we were going to do as a sing-along, that everybody could join us.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so especially the younger people, they really get into the whole QR code thing. You know, the older folks, we had handouts for them, but we did have both versions.
But that's also a great example of like having an activation point, right? Having it be accessible for different people too, and taking that into consideration so that hopefully everyone who's in your audience is going to feel invited and participate. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing
so
that.
it worked well. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. Thanks for the question about QR code. Any other questions while we're in like a little pause?
Yes, I do. What is your direct email address, Alexis, just if we want to reach you?
Yes, it is my name, Alexis, Alexis, and then it's D as in David, P as in Peter, N as in Nancy, @gmail.com. And I believe that's also on the regional website.
Right.
But yeah.
Right, that's true.
Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, you're very welcome.
And you can see it also in the email that sent out the Zoom link.
That'd be so
okay, good. Okay. Nice.
Nice.
This was excellent today.
Yay. Do we have one more slide up?
No.
That's the last one. Nice.
Oh, well, no, it's talking about.
Oh, no, that's the last one.
That's the last one, the Thrive program, but.
All right.
You know, I think your choice is there are creating a course, commercial, designing graphics for the next event, open houses, mentor program. There's lots of ideas. But again, you need to decide what your goals are and what you want to work on. Carol?
Ellen, do you think that maybe a combined Zoom with the communications person in the chorus would be helpful to us? If the things we're discussing all involve the communications person to do those things.
Well, this one, we invited all we did membership, TCs, but we also invited marketing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. We invited, sorry, I don't think we share that with you, but all the marketing folks were invited to this one because the focus was on marketing. So dependent upon, I know Deb and I have talked, but I about potentially doing one of these sessions. It's a very dry subject, though. Updating your membership databases, Sweet Adelines versus regional, because people are not getting some information because there's a disconnect between the regional database and the Sweet Adelines International database. And Sweet Adelines databases may not be up to date, and if you're not designated as for example, the membership coordinator, you're not going to get the initial email. What we've done is make sure that it goes on Facebook page, and we tell people when we send out the initial ones, if there's someone else you think that may be interested, to send them the invitation. But some of this is dependent on work that you all have, that the course people have to do. But that's, I personally think the fundraising, the finance, the leadership, that stuff, Deb can run her own communications one.
But like regionally, Deb and I are always chatting. Like I text Deb possibly more than anyone else on the RMT. Like communications and marketing are like best buddies forever. And because it's so related. And I would also like, and in the same way where marketing and membership is so related, right? Because we're reaching out in different ways. Communications goes a lot to that whole thing of why they come, right? So if you think about it, as we put these pictures out into the world, okay, great. And people said they wanted to come to our course, and they show up and they're like, oh, those are the pictures I saw. Okay, I'm excited to be here. And how does that make me feel? Now, once I'm in the course and I'm starting to get messages about weekly rehearsals, whether it's your weekly newsletter or whatever it is that also, again, reflecting who you are and how you operate, right? That is also a part of retention. That brand, that voice is similar. So making sure that everyone is on board and, and saying like, again, are these our core values? Like, is this aligning up with who we are? Like, this email feels very corporate to me, and we are a community chorus. Okay, we got to adjust that approach. Or we are serious about our time together, and this feels a little too froofy for me. I just want the bullet points. Like, we are a chorus who values people's time, and we want this to be more straightforward of a communication. Also great, another way to approach it, right? So it's all a continuation of kind of like a one voice theory, right? Or similarly, a four voice theory, and how do they harmonize together?
So Carol, back to your question, you would like to see the communications coordinators invited as well?
Well, not every meeting, but like this one would have been.
Okay. Yeah, the marketing people were invited.
And this will be posted, and like I said, we'll make sure that there's a link to it. There's a whole playlist on YouTube of all of the previous membership meets, and this will be added to it. And then I'm going to add a page to our regional website that has that as well, so it can be more easily accessed. I think it's currently internal, right, Deb?
I'm sorry.
Is there an internal page with the links currently?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll see.
If you look for membership meet with Evelyn as the topic.
Nice.
All the
I'm
recordings
done.
are listed.
All the links are in there. Yeah. So you just have to log into the website.
And when we do the fundraising finances role, I would like to I will invite the finance coordinators, because I think we need to share what different choruses are doing. You know, there's lots of fundraisers. You know, there's the aspect of why people stay and why they leave and what we can do, but there's also what is working and what's not working in terms of fundraising and finances at the chorus level. And I think we need, you know, finance coordinators' input on that. So and I think that may not happen for next month, you know, because I looked at it, it's 3 weeks from today. So yeah, that's so maybe it'll be you know, maybe it'll be sharing, because like I said, LOC, you're in the middle of what week are you at with your membership drive?
We just finished up our 3rd week and one week to go until the class of 2025 graduates. So
Yeah,
it's going well. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, HCC has had, you know, there's definite things going on in the region that I think we can share, you know, and that's the whole point of some of these, is to share our successes and to learn from each other, you know. Sound good?
We'll share.
Thanks, Carol. I know Jen Weissman planned to be on, but just
Yeah.
no. So there, and I don't know all the details, Carol, so correct me. The balancing act was asked to kind of coordinate.
Yes, Balancing Act actually put together a wonderful program that really talks about who we are, what we do. It talks a lot about the music that we sing, and all the different aspects. A lot of Sweet Adeline type stuff is in there too, and we're teaching them a song. We gave them the music and the tracks week 1, and they're gonna hopefully sing with us in a show, one song, even if they don't pursue LOC after the class is over. But I think just about everybody is going to. So it's just been great. I think we're getting rave reviews so far. That's what I'm hearing. I'm in the class the whole time with them, and we take them back and forth. They come up on the risers. They do everything. We're just doing everything you would do. And I think we're really doing everything pretty right. Sadly, Jennifer couldn't be here, and she sends her apologies because her mom had a fall, so she had to go to Michigan. You know, family first. So
Oh, maybe, yeah, she texted.
yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. So
maybe what do you
yeah.
think we talk about next time? We talk about some of this stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Sound good?
I'm sure Jennifer would be very happy to share every aspect of what they have put together.
Sounds incredible.
It's good. It is really good. Yeah.
It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And HCC has been doing as well, pretty active. So we'll get a few courses to share.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done. Janice, you keep leaving and coming back.
No, I'm here. I've been here the whole time. I just had to take my video off. So sorry.
I just have to give her a hard time because I can.
We appreciate you picking your nose off camera.
I had to take that. Like, I had to take the dog out, so I was like, "Oh God!" So I just turned the thing off. So
good woman.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good to see everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexis. Thank
Super
you.
helpful.
Thank you.
Hey,
Evelyn, take care. Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Job,
I'm
Alexis.
going to